Now, on his first day in office, the president declared a national energy emergency, saying that we need reliable, diversified, and affordable supply of energy to drive our nation's manufacturing, transportation, agriculture, and defense industries, and to sustain the basics of the modern life and military preparedness. So the man in charge of all of this is Chris Wright. He is our new U.S. Secretary of Energy, and he joins me now. Energy Secretary Chris Wright, thanks for joining. You know, you put out, I think, last week your 9 pillars of energy plans for the United States. We're going to put them on the screen here. And I just want to first start what the basic difference is from this administration with the energy plan from the prior administration.
Oh, Charles, I would say President Trump's agenda is a 180-degree transformation from where we've gone the last 4 years. For 4 years, we went to obstructing energy. I would say a program of energy subtraction. Now we're all about energy addition. More energy, more affordable energy, more opportunities. We had 4 years of how can we make appliances more expensive and lower quality. I mean, truly degradation of life things. Now we're going to bring common sense to back to that as well. LNG. Look, the United States has become the largest exporter of LNG, and then we decided we were going to just retire and leave our allies hanging and not continue to grow our exports of LNG. This President Trump is all in on expanding LNG exports. Great for our country, great for our allies, great for the global economy.
I've got so many other points here. So you mentioned LNG, obviously extraordinarily important. Refill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That was one heck of a gimmick. Could have got us in a lot of trouble. I like the number 6 and number 7. Modernize the nuclear stockpile. Also, though, unleash commercial nuclear power. We know this is the cornerstone of us staying ahead in the global AI race, right?
Absolutely, Charles. Look, nuclear technology was invented in this country, critical to the effort to win World War II and to prevail in the Cold War. What President Trump wants to do is modernize our nuclear weapons stockpile. There's not been as much investment as there should be there since the collapse of the Soviet Union, but we want to modernize those and upgrade those and keep our country strong and ready for any challenge. And of course, related use of that nuclear technology is to unleash nuclear energy in the United States. First in fission, but ultimately in fusion. President Trump is about energy addition, American innovation, and Americans leading the world. You
know, we've heard for a long time about the electric grid and how vulnerable it is. It's 100 years old in some parts of this country. A lot of presidents and administrations have talked about that. How important is it for the Trump administration?
Oh, it is critical. It is critical. The last 4 years, we've had almost no demand growth in electricity, yet the average American price went up almost 30%, and our grid got less stable. President Trump is coming into power. We now have huge interest in investing in our country. AI, a new energy-intensive manufacturing industry, wants to locate here in the United States. I think if the election had gone the other way, it may have moved mostly to China. But under President Trump, AI is going to stay in the United States. The United States is going to lead in that. But now we're going to have huge demand growth in electricity on our grid. We need to meet that demand, win the AI arms race, and keep electricity prices down for American consumers.
Secretary
That's
Wright.
President Trump's agenda.
I'm sorry, I just got a minute to go, but I do have
Charles.
to ask, and this is something that's been on my mind for a long time, right? So the United States, we run our refineries on heavy crude because back in the day we used to import that. Everyone thought, you know, it was a global standard. And yet, you know, we have this sweet light crude that we bring out of the ground. And I know we can't put the sweet light in these refineries for the heavy stuff. It actually will cost more. But we're looking at capacity, and for the most part, we're near 100% capacity, right? You couldn't run 100% capacity in what we have here. I never understood why we wouldn't build a couple of refineries. I know they would take 10 or 15 years, but the message would be that, hey, when Canada threatens to withhold crude oil from us, we say, you know what, keep the heavy tar sand stuff, or any other country threatens to keep energy from us when we've got it under our ground. Why not build at least 2 new refineries? We haven't had one since 1977, maybe one in the Midwest and one on the East Coast.
Charles, beautiful question, and you hit the punchline at the end there. We haven't built a new refinery in this country since the 1970s. That screams out permitting reform. That screams out a new agenda of getting rid of the nonsense and President Trump's coalition of common sense so we can invest and build things in America to address opportunities like you've just nicely spelled out. That's the plan. That's the plan, Charles.
Listen, I got to tell you, no one better for this job than you, Secretary Wright. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we can talk again real soon.
Thanks for having me.
All right, absolutely.